What's up everybody, this is Boywithafishtank, and today I'm bringing you an update on my 50-gallon planter tank. And a lot of stuff has changed, as you guys probably can see. Some rescaping, some new plants, some new additions, lots of good stuff. So I'm still not entirely done with this system. I will still be doing a lot of updates and things like that, and I'm just going to talk to you guys about that. And when this tank is fully set up, I'll start releasing a lot of planter tank guides, like on different plant care informations and things like that. But anyway, so let's just get over this tank real quick. So let's get over some new plants that I got. And what I'm most pumped about is probably this. It's called Cardimine Lyrata. It's a really awesome plant. I've always wanted to get this plant. I've seen it in some planter tanks before, and I was like, wow, this plant looks awesome. But I actually thought it was a pretty hard plant to keep. But then I did some research, and it actually turns out that it's actually a pretty easy plant to care for. And what's awesome about it is actually it will kind of create this sort of carpet, as you can see right here. It will kind of crawl over your rocks and on the side of the glass and on the sand, It will look really nice. Actually also up against driftwood. I've actually seen people attaching it to driftwood and making it grow on there, which looks really awesome. It can also grow emerged actually. Most aquatic plants can do that, but this one is a little bit better at doing that. Then I got some water sprite, as you can see right here, and water sprite is actually again one of those plants that I've wanted for a long time, but I've never really been able to find it. But actually I was out of town. I was like 2 hours drive away from my house, and I actually found this fish shop which had some really nice plants from Tropica, and they actually had some of these plants that I really wanted. So got the Cardimine Lyrata, and then I got the water sprite right here, and I really like water sprite. It's kind of an average plant, I would say. It's not easy to keep, but it's not very hard to keep either. But it's kind of an average plant. Requires a little bit of minimum lighting, So I think I will be doing great in this tank. I do not dose CO2, but it's still a low-tech tank. But I do fertilize some liquid carbon and some iron and potassium and cobalt and things like that. So that is going to be nice. I think it's going to grow pretty well in here. It will get the most of its requirements filled out. Then I got some Bacopa over here, some Bacopa caroliniania. I really like Bacopa. Bacopa is a really easy plant to keep. Again, one of those plants that really likes to grow emerged. Actually, it actually likes to have the top of its stem on top of the water, like emerged, because what actually will happen is that it will actually flower a lot. And I know that one of my friends actually kept this Bacopa in the past, and when I looked at his tank, there would be like these small blue flowers on top of the leaves of the Bacopa. It looks really nice. I'm not sure if I want to do that, because I don't think it will look very nice in the scape. It will go all up to the top right here. By the way, a lot of duckweed just going like crazy up here. Just look at that, that's crazy. I actually need to filter some of that out, because it actually gets stuck in the filter and kind of blocks everything out. But Bacopa is a really nice plant, really like that plant. Another plant that is one of my favorites. Has a little bit of light green color, it will really light up your tank. Then I got some caroliniania. Again, these are both South American plants. This plant is also one of my favorites. I've kept it in the past. Not easy to keep, I would say, but not very hard to keep either. It's again one of those average plants. They do really like CO2 actually, after my experience. But it's an awesome plant. It will grow really dense, without actually shadowing too much of its underneath, of its lower parts of its stem, which is often a problem with stem plants. Like if you place them close together, sometimes if you don't got enough lighting, or you don't cut them, trim them, they'll actually begin to rot in the bottom and kind of rot up towards the stem, which will just kill the plant entirely. So you have to be careful with that. But this plant doesn't really have that much of a problem with doing that, because The dense look that you see is actually not as dense as you might think, because there's a lot of small holes in between all of these little, I can't remember what those are called. It's not leaves, it's like something else, like needles or something, but it doesn't matter. Like in between those, so there's a lot of room, so it can actually reach all the way down, instead of you know, leaves like Bacopa, for example, which will shadow down on the leaves underneath. You know, the Amazon swords right here are growing amazing, by the way. You can see here that they're growing nicely. A little bit of algae is blooming up on them, but that's not really that big of a deal. I actually got some Limnophila growing down here, but I actually moved it around. But as you can see, the Limnophila stems that I put in here was actually not that healthy, so when I put them in here, they actually began to grow a lot of algae on the stems, as you can see here. But you can see on every single of these plants, on every single one of these plants, there's actually a lot of new growth coming out right here. So it will be doing fine. It just needs to you know, adapt to the new tank. Got some water sprite down here as well. And you might notice this clump of moss on this driftwood right here. And you know, it doesn't look that good right now. It will look good later on, but it just needs a little bit of time to kind of grow out and look nice. Right now it just looks like a clump of wheat or something. Yeah, most of the things in here are doing well. You might actually notice that I don't have the val in here, but it was basically not doing that well. So yeah. Also, actually, my Geophagus dug some of the Cardimine Lyrata up. I need to put that down again. By the way, you can see here with the Cardimine Lyrata, you will often get them in very tall, sort of stemmy, like stem plant look, but it's not a stem plant. So what you have to do is that you actually have to take some of these tall, you can actually place them in a clump, which is what I did right here. And you can just take the taller stems and you can just plant them down in the ground. And you need to be a little bit more strategic with this, because you can see here that they do have roots where they actually has, you know, they sit like float. So what you can do is actually you can take the stem, just put it down the sand, put it down in the substrate, and with those roots down in the substrate, and the plant will actually be fine. It will actually crawl along the bottom, which will look really, really nice. You can see right here. So to the new fish, the new additions, which you guys might already have noticed, the tiger bobs. And I actually got 9 of these tiger bobs, and a lot of people, you know, they don't really like tiger bobs because they're very aggressive and things like that. But the thing is that, you know, tiger bobs are not aggressive if you keep them in larger numbers, because it's only if you keep them in smaller numbers, because they actually make these, this sort of pecking order, so they will actually start picking on other fish if there are not enough of their own species. So you probably have to, you know, get a lot of these guys before they will work out, but for now they're not really showing any aggression, only towards themselves. You know, if they were aggressive, they'll go after my angelfish and things like that, but they have never done that. They've never even like touched them, so that's very nice. And I also got a new Geophagus, and he's coming out here to check you guys out. Look at this guy. He's really amazing. There is a little bit of fighting going on, because it's actually 2 male Geophagus, and the big problem right here is that these guys are like one of the biggest, you know, Geophagus species in the world. Like it's called the Geophagus alcifrons. You know, these guys get really, really huge, and they actually do fight occasionally. And sometimes they can just, you see right now, they actually just stand like right to the side of each other. But whenever I feed them, they usually make a little bit of chasing. You know, they don't really bite in each other that much. You can see they don't really have any. Look at that right there. They just show each other who's the boss. Actually, what is really fun is that, you know, this guy is the alpha male. You can tell that by the trailers on his tails and his fins. He will actually chase this guy until he goes into the Amazon source, and he will actually leave him alone. So he will just be in there, then he will come out again. He can come out like for a really long time until he doesn't want to have him in his company anymore. You know, look at that. He just chases him down the Amazon swords, leaves him alone. That's really it. The Ceratopteris are doing really well though. What I've noticed is that they are not as active in this planet tank as they were in the African cichlid tank. You can see here's my biggest one. You know, my favorite fish in this tank are definitely the Ceratopteris. You can see he actually has right here, some sand stuck in his on his body. And the other one is, where is he? He's like, he's right here. Look at that guy. He's swimming around right now. He's looking really nice. But they're not really very open swimmers, and I guess it kind of, as you can see, they always, a lot of people think they got ick, but actually it's just a lot of sand that is stuck on them. And it actually usually happens. They have this sort of very thick slime layer out of the, like on the outside of their body, because they have this sort of very soft tissue. They have this very soft skin. It's like a panther almost. Some places it's panther, some places it's like this really soft skin, and it requires a lot of fat and you know, mucus to kind of keep that healthy. So you know, they're doing fine. They're eating a lot of food as usual. Not really as active. They usually just hide the most of the time, but they do come out every now and again. What is he doing? Just look at that guy. Like, Ceratopteris catfish are like the most coolest catfish in the world. They're just awesome. Anyway, the fire moth cichlid, which you can see right over there, he's actually not out right now. He usually is out. He's getting some really nice coloration. There's my Plago, by the way. Just look at that guy, just chilling right there. But my flame moth is doing really well. I actually gave him a live cherry shrimp right here before. He actually caught one of those. And that was actually because I was moving some of the shower moths from the shrimp tank, and you know, there were some few shrimp babies and things like that stuck in there, so he just went all crazy on that. You can see right here he's getting really nice coloration. You know, he's doing really well. He's coming out in the open every now and again, but I guess he needs to get a little bit older before he really will show his true beauty. But the Geophagus and the flame moth is actually doing really well together. They're not chasing each other or anything like that. They're just swimming beside each other, like, don't really care that much. And you can see here there's also some sand stuck on the Plago right here. Look at that. I don't know why they usually dig in the sand, but they always do that, which is kind of a problem actually. Whenever I try to make a carpet of something, they just dig it up. Like, they also eat crypts. My Ceratopteris actually eat cryptocorines, which kind of sucks. This guy right here, this big guy right here, he actually likes to eat cryptocorine most of the time, which I actually didn't notice before today, where I did a water change. They actually eat the leaves of the cryptocorine. But anyway, you know, this tank is doing really well. Really liking how it looks so far. Of course, it has to grow out a little bit more and things like that. I might get a little bit of new additions, and hopefully I'll be able to get some. Stop messing with my Cardimine, for God's sakes. My Geophagus always sticks down on the plants and the substrate, which really sucks. But anyway, yeah. I'm actually planning on getting a lot of nubias on these rocks right here, as you can see right here, and kind of get a little bit of jungly look over there with a lot of leaves and things like that. I think that will look really amazing. Maybe get a black background as well. Don't really like the rocky look anymore, so yeah. The angelfish are doing really well too. You can see here they're actually growing quite a lot, more than I expected, so that's really nice. They're kind of shy right now because I just did a water change and they don't really want to come out. Whenever I do that, they're kind of shy. They only come out when, you know, when everything is right. There's the flame moth. Look at that guy. He's awesome. He was getting intimidated by the tiger bobs, but yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and see you guys in another video.